Alright everyone, today we have the definitive build guide to help you get a solo flawless completion of the brand new legendary and master lost sectors. Currently these are the only way that you can obtain the new exotic armour introduced in Beyond Light. So if that's what you want, then you're in the right place. Subscribe if you're new here, hit like to break out of the next stasis grenade faster, and on that, let's get into it. With the introduction of Year 4 and Beyond Light, Bungie have added legendary and master lost sectors to the game. These can be located on Europa with Bunker E15, Perdition and Concealed Void, and on the Cosmodrome with Exodus Garden 2A and Vale's Labyrinth. One legendary and one master lost sector are available each day and rotate on a daily basis. They are set at a power level of 1250 and 1280 respectively. You can see which ones are the set lost sector for the day from the map, and they can be accessed by interacting with the flag just outside the specific lost sector. For these to first appear on the map, you will have to complete each of them normally first once you reach the 1200 power level. As we mentioned before, these lost sectors have an increased chance of rewarding certain exotic loot on completion if you do it solo and not in a fire team. This loot includes the brand new Beyond Light exotics and is the only way you can obtain them so far. So let's get into the builds. With mods and loadouts you'll need to use in order to secure the bag with an easy solo flawless completion. First up, you're going to want something to deal with champions. There aren't many, but there are two types within each lost sector, with a mix between barrier, unstoppable and overload champions. Obviously the intrinsic anti-champion weapons should be your first port of call, with Devil's Ruin and Divinity being the most reliable for unstoppable and overload champions respectively. However, if you don't want to use them, then the seasonal artifact pretty much has anti-champion mods to suit all tastes, plus these are now arms armour mods, allowing you to use any of your favourite weapons for the champions. Looking at the artifact further, the Thermal Overload mod is a good shout to allow either your stasis or solar grenades to disrupt overload champions, and the Unstoppable Schwarzschild Condenser mod will allow void melees to stagger unstoppable champions too. Lastly, if you want to gut bust champions, the Unstoppable Shotgun mod is for you. Remember, you could pair this with something like Tractor Cannon for an instant debuff to champions you stagger as well. Momentum Siphon and Surge Eater will be must-have mods, as you will instantly recharge your melee or grenade when you stagger or disrupt an unstoppable or overload champion. That's the champions dealt with, and as it's likely you'll be underleveled, especially at the master difficulty, you'll want to spec into survivability, and to help with that the easiest way is with Charged with Light mods. Protective Light is always the first mod of choice, as it grants a 50% increase in damage resistance when your health hits the red bar if you are charged with light, granting the Sheltered by the Void perk. This perk increases in duration the more stacks of Charged with Light you have, so put on Supercharge to help with that for an additional 2 stacks of Charged with Light. For any core Charged with Light build, Taking Charge is the best mod to consistently become Charged with Light by collecting Orbs of Light, and pairing this with stacks on stacks will boost your charges quicker. Striking Light is the next mod, as this grants a 10% damage reduction while sprinting thanks to the Uncatchable perk. This stacks with other damage resistant mods, and you'll notice the difference when moving around. The rest of the damage resistance mods are now tied to your chest armour, but I definitely recommend the Concussive Dampener and Sniper Resistant mods first. Concussive will reduce area of effect damage, whereas Sniper Resist will reduce damage from Vandals and Hobgoblins. Alternatively, you can go down the Warmind cell route, using your favourite Seraph, Ikelos or exotic weapons to create Warmind cells. Warmind's Protection, Power of Rasputin and Cellular Suppression are 3 top tier mods for endgame content when it comes to survivability. With Warmind's Protection you'll take less damage from enemies near Warmind cells, but you can also do increased damage to those enemies thanks to the Power of Rasputin mod. Additionally, you can blind these enemies too by shooting the cell with Cellular Suppression. Global Reach and Warmind's Longevity will also allow you to impact a larger area and make the Warmind cells last longer. With exotic armour now including a seasonal mod slot, 5 mod builds for either Charged with Light or Warmind cells are now a thing. Speaking of exotic armour, there are a good few options you'll want to consider using for each class. For Warlocks, if you're doubling down on melees for either Stasis or Unstoppable mods, then Claws of Ahamkara will work there. Alternatively, Karnstein Armlets will restore health on melee kills thanks to its Vampire's Caress perk. Phoenix Protocol will also still do bits and return super energy on kills whilst you're within a well of radiance. Titans will definitely want to look at Titan's ramparts to grant a barricade you can shoot through. This is ideal for taking down various champions and chipping away at the boss's health. Mask of the Quiet One is a low-key shout for ability regen when wounded and healing on kills thanks to its dreaded Visage perk. Hunters might want to use Graviton Forfeit for increased invisibility duration or Wormhusk Crown to heal whilst dodging. The 6th Coyote is great for double dodge builds, and Orpheus Rigs will regen super energy when using your tether. As for weapons, thankfully you've got plenty of options. Izanagi's Burden is still king for high DPS with its Honed Edge perk and will allow you to nuke champions easily, as will a Godroll Falling Guillotine. Xenophage is also a solid choice. Any breach load grenade launcher with blinding grenades will definitely give you an easier time, as will any exotics granting ability regen like Bad Juju or Monte Carlo. I'm going to also give a shout out to the new Salvation's Grip Exotic 2, which is definitely handy for freezing enemies and great for crowd control. Finally, make sure to play to the strength of your abilities. Obviously Stasis is the highlight of the moment, and freezing champions will not only allow you to beat down on them, but it will delay their ability regen much like an anti-champion mod does, so make use of this often in those areas. Don't forget your light subclasses though too. Devour and Well of Radiance Warlocks are still super strong, Ward of Dawn Bubble Titans can still do their thing along with suppression grenades, and Invis Dodge Tether Hunters will be incredibly effective. Honestly, it's all just about taking your time and methodically chipping your way through the encounters. These lost sectors aren't very long, and these build tips will set you well on your way to an easy solo completion and your brand new exotic loot. Let me know in the comments if you've got any further tips you've used or if you think I've missed something. Remember, if you are new here and want the latest and greatest builds and guides, please consider subscribing. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. Also, a rating down below is always greatly appreciated. That's it for this one though, so on that, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.